Blog Talk Radio.
And welcome, everyone. Welcome to another Friday, the Doctors Are In show. I'm your host, Dax Carlisle from the Tarot Guild. Now in our 16th year, I'm a tarot advisor, numerologist, and life coach coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona. Joining me, as always, is my fabulous co-host. She is, I always say she has a PhD in linguistics. I was going to say she's a doctor of linguistics. Hey, that's interesting. You know, who knew there was such a thing, right? Okay. And she is a certified life coach and a spiritual advisor. And currently, this summer, she's working on her credentials in neurolinguistics and hypnotherapy. So she's going to be a hypnotherapist. And every Friday, she joins me to dispense her wisdom and wonderful tools for life, such as mantras. Yes, we call her the mantra maven. Here she is live from Berkeley, California, Dr. Rose Wilkerson. Hey, Rose.
Hey.
How's it going?
Hey, everybody.
Woo. We're back on the air again together.
Yes, we are.
There is just crazy stuff going on everywhere. I mean, if it's not a If it's not a pandemic, it's riots in the streets. It's demonstrations and across the entire United States, and the rest of the world. We're only 330 some million people in the United States out of 7 billion, and the rest of the world must look at us and go, "Those people are just nutso,"
Right.
Yeah. Especially with our current president. I mean, I'm just going to say, it's like, oh, yes, let's call out the military. I was in the Air Force, and the first thing they taught you was the Posse Comitatus Act, that you cannot use the military for police actions within the borders of the United States on the American people. That's what makes us different from communist China and North Korea and everywhere else, like that. Yeah, and leave it to Trump to dig up something, obscure from the 1800s, 1807, I think it was. It's like the Insurrection Act. Well, the Posse Comitatus Act was put in after that, you see, and it's the insurrection thing is only supposed to be used in very, very rare circumstances. I mean, we've had demonstrations like we're having now over the decades and have never needed to use that. And the other thing, if you'll notice that when he did bring troops in, he did it where? Washington, D.C. The only city that's in a district that's not in a state, because it's not a state, it's the only place that he can do that. See, he can't do that in the 50 states because the governors have to call it in, have to request that, and they have their own National Guard. Each state has its own National Guard, So it's just insane, his followers are thinking, oh, yeah, he's going to do this. He's going to bring in the troops and quell it across the whole United States. No, folks, there's a reason why they're only in Washington, D.C.
Right, and it's like that people don't understand. Every state has a governing body. There's supposed to be, there's a little bit of a separation between the federal government and also the state government. You can't just, bring out the military for everybody. Many of the governors, not all of them, but many of the governors are not going to go for that. Like, well, you're not doing that in my state. You're not. And not to mention, on top of that, Dax, is that we have 41 million people out of work. 41.
I know.
We've never had that, ever. I mean, so it adds all to the, the stress situation, you see the police brutality, shooting rubber bullets, popping people's eyes out. I've heard of 2 stories of 2 people who lost their vision in an eye because the police shot the rubber bullet at their eye. It's just it's crazy what's happening out there. And I'm not saying all police officers are like that.
They knocked down a guy in his 70s last night.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
We've never seen it this bad, and it's no wonder. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's the treatment of black and brown people, in this country, and in terms of, it's a historical kind of treatment that's been going on for decades and decades, and it just finally bubbled up. But think about everything else that's been going on. We had been quarantined. Well, not all states, but many of the states have been quarantined for a while. We've been staying at home. You have 41 million people who are out of jobs, and you got this dude in the White House stoking fires like he's nuts. Like, he wants the country to self-destruct, and that's exactly what we're saying. I mean, I shouldn't say it that way. I don't believe this. He wants the country to self-destruct. I don't think that's what's going to happen here. I really don't. I don't think we're at the point of this, somehow the United States is going to be dismantled. I don't think Americans, and I mean all of us, are going to let that happen. They're like, no way.
No. There's a lot more of us than there is of them. And the thing is that he does these things like, the photo op in front of the church holding the Bible up to get his base riled up to, support him.
Right.
So that all this stuff like, let's bring the military out and quash the disruption. Here, I'm holding the Bible up like I've ever even, read between the pages, between the covers. It's all for his base. He thinks his base will get him back in again. That's all it is. That's all it is.
And they're not going to. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do it. Now, here's something that's really interesting.
But before you do that, Before you do that, we have some folks calling in, and I need to announce real quickly what we're doing on the show and everything like that, okay? And It's open line, so, you can talk about whatever you want, Rose. I'll talk about whatever I want. And the beauty of it is we're here for you during all this chaos. That's why we brought this up, is because, regardless of what's going on, we're here every Friday. Mary and I are on every Saturday. Open lines, even if we're doing a topic, we have open lines and tarot mini readings every Friday and Saturday. So, you can come in, you can get things off your chest, you can talk about any topic you want. You can ask us questions about tarot and numerology and psychic ability and development and hypnosis and life coaching and energy healing and EFT, meridian tapping, NLP, whatever it is, you can ask us a question about. Between Rose and I, we pretty much have everything covered. And then you can also call in for a tarot mini reading live on air as well. The phone number is 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, remember to press 1 on your dial pad. That puts you in the caller queue in the order that you called in, so that we know that you want to be live on air with us. If you call the number and don't press 1, we assume you're just listening to the show. And that's perfectly fine, too. But if you want to get on air with Rose and I, dial 714-816-46. You can join us in the chat room. I'm in there right now, thetarotguild.com. The sponsor of our shows on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, thetarotguild.com/chat. You can jump in the chat room, chat with us there, comment on the show, even ask for a mini reading right from the chat room at thetarotguild.com, our website, /chat. That's right. So come join us, and if you're, I see some people calling in now. If you are on the fence listening live, this is the time to get in, because we're open lines and tarot mini readings all show today. There's no topic. So just call in, and we'll get right to you, 714-816-4628. So what were you going to say, Rose? Finish up your thought there.
You were talking about the whole photo op of, Trump in front of the St. John's Church. And a pastor that I know of the church that I grew up in, he posted something which I thought was interesting. He said, in order for Trump to clear a space for his photo op in front of St. John's Church, he gassed its pastor, because the pastor of that church was the one part of that.
Oh my God!
Isn't that something?
Oh my God!
I was like, wow.
Just unreal,
Yeah.
just absolutely unreal, and people don't see this. They don't. Oh my God! It's just wow.
Yeah.
So Biden had a good thing where he said he's holding up the Bible now. If he'd only read between the covers, like I said earlier, if he'd only crack it open every once in a while,
It actually
reads. Boy.
Exactly. Jeez.
Hey. Hey, and if we sound a little chaotic today, it's because of two reasons. One, between the pandemic and everything else, there is just chaotic craziness going on all around us. But also, today is a 5 day. It's the 5th. 5 is high energy in numerology. It's a great day to just don't take anything too seriously. Don't sign any contracts. Don't get married. Don't do anything on a 5 except for read a good book. Take an Epsom salt bath with the candles. Go out and ride roller coasters. Do an adventure. Go hiking. Go boating. Get out there, and it's the energy of adventure is what it is. But the other side of the coin, because there always is the other side. The other side to it is, in numerology, we call 5 the chaos number. Because if you don't use it in the positive, all that energy rose can spiral down and just get all chaotic.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough,
go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to finish up and say, interestingly enough, I pulled a card of the day, which I do every day, but on days that we have radio shows, I let everybody know about this energy. And it's the 5 of Cups. There's the 5 again. And this is literally the crying over spilt milk card, is what we tarot people call it. The figure in the traditional Waite-Smith version of the card is kind of hunched over, looking down on that have fallen over and spilt its contents. But if that person would just turn around, he'd see, or she would see, that there are 2 full goblets, cups behind him. And it's interesting because he's got this dark cape on, and I always imagine that, it's Count Dracula, and he's all upset because he spilt his goblets of blood. But hey, there's blood right behind you, sir. Just turn around, you'll see it right there. So basically, going along with the numerology and this card, the message coming through is, okay, you may feel chaotic. You may think things are spinning out of control for you. It's not true. Okay? Even if these things are actually happening, you don't have to allow it to affect you. In fact, you can turn around and see the other 2 cups. Because whenever chaos happens, 9/11 or the pandemic or, these protests, I shouldn't call them protests, but what's the better PC name there, Rose? Demonstration, something like that.
Yeah, peaceful protesters. Yeah, peaceful protesters.
Right. I'm not talking about the people that are taking advantage of the situation, that are doing property damage, that are stealing things. I'm talking about the peaceful protesters. And, all this is going on. But and whenever something like this happens, big like this, there's always the other side of the coin. There's so that's the lesson here, is that there is always positive things happening amidst the chaos. Look how this horrible thing that happened with George Floyd brought together all of us, and we're pushing for change, right? it's just like I use 9/11 all the time. When 9/11 happened, and they grounded all the airplanes, and people were stranded in airports. People there, perfect strangers that are hugging each other. People from the community were coming in and say, "Hey, you can come bunk with us at our house. We'll give you a meal." Mm-hmm. I mean, all this positive stuff happened at the same time that the tragedy was happening. It's always like that. And so the lesson here is that if the individual that is crying over the spilt milk, quote unquote, just would turn around and find the silver lining, find the 2 cups that are still upright, that are still full, and put your focus on the positive happening, that draws you out of the 5 chaotic energy into the 6, which, by the way, the entire date, June 5th, 2020, adds up to 15. If you add all the numbers together, you get 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 is the return to balance and harmony after the chaos of 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to do that real quick and do the message because I had that card out, and now I need to shuffle for the callers. So I wanted to get that out of the way. And let's go ahead and take a call. I know there's a lot more to come in the show, folks. We just ended the Super Spring Sale, but don't worry. We always do a great sizzling summer sale, and that's coming up shortly. I'll be telling you about that. And we've got the mantra of the week from Dr. Rose here. But let's see if we can take a call or two and give us a ring, folks, if you're listening live. Mini readings all show long, open lines all show long, 714-816-4628. The caller that's been waiting the longest is area code 804. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Hugh. I'm calling from Virginia. Thank you so much for taking my call on the opposite side of the coin, the positive side.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this Friday. What's going on?
Well, I have something very powerful I'd like to gift you and your listeners with, too, and wanted to see how that might come out in a mini reading. Do you need to do a mini reading, a numerology on me, or a poem that I want to tell you about?
Not necessarily. It all depends on what's going on and what we're doing the reading on. So sometimes the numerology is helpful in that. Sometimes it's not. It depends on if it's a certain kind of... All right, well, let me just go, because
instead of getting all involved with the numbers, let me just go with the poem.
Let me just finish up there. I want to let everybody know that, it depends on the life circumstances. There are certain situations where they're asking questions about certain things going on in their lives, and that's where the numerology is going to be helpful, because we can look up their life path number, their attitude number, we can find out where they are in their personal year, and that has relevance. But for other questions, we don't need the numerology at all. We could just pull the cards. So what would your question be, you?
How is my poem being accepted globally to offset the chaos and transform the world with spirituality and unconditional agape love, rooting out corruption globally? That's the biggest problem mankind has had since the beginning. Okay.
So your poem is already out there?
Yes, it's in the President Ronald Reagan Library. I put it out as a weapon against terrorism when 9/11 happened, and Maya Angelou even commented on my poem.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this has been around for a long time. This isn't something that you just came out with for the current crises going on.
No, I was looking to utilize it in a special way, but when the COVID-19 virus happened, I saw a way that it really should come out to show people how to tap into their personal heart-to-God relationship better and manifest a more peaceful, loving world.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
And
so I can give you a Twitter page that you can see information about the poem. It would even have where I spoke with Maya Angelou a few years ago and her kind words about it.
Oh, great. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, all you have to do is put my name on the internet. It's Hugh, H-U-G-H, the last name Charlson, that's T like Tom, and R-A-U-L-S like Sam, E like Edward, N like Nancy, and then just put Twitter after my name. You don't have to have a Twitter account to view the posts. Excuse me, and you'll see some other postings there too that are very appropriate for these times. I have had positive and negative experiences with the police. My life was saved by the police in a near-death experience back in 2007, which disabled me with severe COPD. I wasn't expected to live more than a few months, and then I went through rehab and relocated from New York down to Virginia. And on January 3rd, 2009, I was arrested from my bed. I've never been arrested for anything in my life, and I just let go and let God. I was set up by a corrupt police sergeant who's now dead, as well as some of the gossipers that set me up. So that's why I'm looking to show people to focus on their heart-to-God connection and do what Jesus said, put God first always, and secondly, love your neighbors yourself.
Right. So,
the poem is short enough. I'm looking to give it to any artist, any nonprofit, any company, even police departments. It's very short. It's titled Caring, Sharing. It reads, if you dare to care, then share. If you share, pay heed. God will reward every good deed. I envision it on coffee mugs and T-shirts and posters, and anybody using it to raise funds and to show how they're adhering to the message of the poem.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at the cards here and see what we're getting. Give me just a second here, because there is good stuff coming through and also some informational messages. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely both your original question and some assistance here. So some of the cards are really positive, like the Nine of Pentacles, and the Lover's card shows up as well. So perhaps in the past this was well received, and yeah, it's that looks really good. Now, the message coming through, the reading's actually bookended by two number 4 cards. 4 is structure in numerology. So we've got the Emperor, which is a 4 card, and we've got the 4 of Wands, which is also a 4 card. Okay? And the Emperor is about order and confidence and wealth and stability and leadership, worldly power, self-control gained through experience, the ability to shoulder responsibility. So that may be giving you a little hint already where this is going. The reading's bookended, meaning like bookends on a bookshelf. I've got a card on the far left and a card on the far right, and they're the same energy, the same numerological energy, that 4 energy structure. So what it's saying is it was well received in the past. I mean, getting a message from Maya Angelou is just, fantastic, and other people, and getting it into the Reagan Library and things along those lines. But that was the past. Okay, so we have the current stuff going on, and for you to, have any success in the current crises, because there's so many, multiple of ones going on, it's going to require more effort on your part. The existence of it doesn't mean anything. I mean, up until this moment, I don't know about you, Dr. Rose. I never heard about it, And so the cards are saying you got to get the message out there. The central focus is the Queen of Cups, which is, again, having this imaginative, artistic, using your intuition. Like the King of Cups, she is emotionally level, balanced, like a rock. Even when there's all this chaos going on around her, she remains calm and listens to her intuition versus what she's being told. So, going forward, the message from the tarot is to listen to your gut instincts, listen to your intuition as to how to move forward. And what you're going to want to do is get your message out there. And you may already be working on this, having a Twitter account and so forth. But another part of, these two cards that are structured, the four energy, give the four legs on a table or chair. It takes four walls to make a simple building. Also, the four sides to a box as well. And so these kind of cards are the thinking outside the box cards. So the tarot is suggesting that you think outside the box, look at new ways to promote this and get it out there. Okay? And the very last card, that Four of Wands that I mentioned, that's a good indicator of how to do that, at least a first step. Because the Four of Wands, Dr. Rose, is about celebration and liberation. And it could be a happy, secure home. It can be peace, prosperity. It could be a period of rest. But quite frequently, what it is talking about is some kind of celebration. It could be a bar mitzvah. It could be a wedding reception. It could be a party. And so it's kind of indicating how to get this off the ground and going. And the way to do that is through some sort of celebration. You either get in partnership with something big that's going to happen, or you create your own. And, of course, we're starting to open up. We're not open to large parties or events yet in most places around the country. However, in the near future, that is going to be possible again. It may not be till August or September or October or something, but, you can either wait that long, or if you don't want to wait that long, you could start having virtual parties, virtual get-togethers around this concept. And you can do that through YouTube Lives. You could do it through Zoom meetings. You could do it through Facebook Lives, and just get like-minded people together and get a movement going. And this is the way to do it, really, is to make it more of a celebration of life, so to speak. So that's what the tarot is talking about you. I hope that helped you out. Gosh, I don't see any more callers yet, Dr. Rose. So if you're listening live out there, the phone lines are wide open. So 714-816-4628, and get a mini reading or just get something off your chest, chat about whatever you want. Yes, it's open lines. So it's funny, Dr. Rose. Last week the phone lines were jammed, and we were doing a topic, and we didn't get to the callers. We didn't get to any of the callers till like the second half of the show, and a few people left, and a few more people called in. After we were like 30 minutes into the show. This week, when we have the doors wide open, when it's open lines and your calls all show logged, it's crickets. I don't get it. They call in on the show where there's there's a topic, they know we're not going to get to them if we do have time to get to them till the end of the show. So we do an open line show this Friday because last Friday was so jam-packed, we wanted to give room for people to call in, and then it's
right.
You know, I just don't get it.
I guess they really were interested in the topics.
Yeah. Well, the nice
hilarious.
thing is that you and I can talk amongst ourselves. And besides,
That's
you have
correct.
the mantra of the week. You could do the mantra of the
week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you talked about the number 5 today, and it being June 5th, of course. And if you ever study the Kabbalah or the Tree of Life, as and there's another term for it, the Tree of Life, 5 represents the fifth sphere represents war, actually, and conflict. So not to say that 5 only means that. That's why I'm glad that you were saying, don't make any major decisions, don't get married, just kind of chill out, hang out, have fun, because it can be a very contentious time. 5 has that vibration, right? It can be very just combative in a way. And so you definitely don't want to get into any arguments, especially with family members or things of that nature. But it got me thinking about what's happening out there with people protesting, the peaceful protesters, right? And how you have, in some places, police brutalities going on, or you have looters, and actually, Dax, I don't know if you know this, but I'm forgetting which city this happened. Somewhere in the Bay Area. The chief of police in one of these cities had stated that they've had coordinated looting happening in the city. Like Monday was like just a crazy night, and there was looting all over their city or town, but it was coordinated, And so you got that kind of stuff going on out there. It can be dangerous, right? And if you're out there peacefully protesting, or if you are just needing to get from your home to the store, or from work to home, or, I've known people I was talking to people this week where you could hear sirens going down their streets like every few minutes. You need some protection, right? That's what I'm getting to. So I came up with a protection, not came up with it, I didn't create it myself, but I've actually given this mantra out before. The seed mantra, the very basic mantra, is doom, right? It doesn't mean doom and gloom, right? Doom is actually a frequency discovered by ancient yogis that is a protective energy. And the mantra, there's a longer mantra, and it's calling on the
Dr.
divine
Rose.
feminine. Yes.
But that helps, because when there's doom, chant doom.
Chant doom.
It helps them remember it.
Right. So the longer mantra is Om Doom Durgaye Namaha. Om Doom Durgaye Namaha. And I want to read a little bit. I won't read too much because we just got some more callers popped up on the screen here. But it's a protection mantra. And there's a little bit of a story behind this. If you're interested in mantras, especially Sanskrit mantras, get the book Healing Mantras by Thomas Ashley Farrand. He was one of the very first people who wrote about Sanskrit mantras, and he wrote it for a Western audience so that we could understand it a little bit better if you're not coming from an Eastern tradition or cultural upbringing. And so he gives a story about a young man who was in college, and he decides to go to a concert, one night. And all these weird things were happening. Like he goes to the concert, and as he's driving through the parking lot at night, he's just feeling this sick to his stomach, like something was coming up, like in the solar plexus area. And so at one point they get out, and they're walking towards the concert. And there's a woman who was like buckled over onto the ground. She couldn't, get up and get into her car to leave. And so he went over and held her hand and chanted the mantra, Om Doom Durgaye Namaha. He had been practicing this or chanting this mantra before this event, right? But he chanted Om Doom Durgaye Namaha for a few minutes, and she felt better, and she got up. There was a scuffle that was going on with police officers, and police officers were looking out to harm people in that area. There was a lot of stuff going on. But needless to say, he made it to the concert all right, enjoyed himself. But Om Doom Durga Ye is a very powerful mantra that can provide protection for you out there. So if you're having to leave your home, you're having to leave a safe space, or you live in a hot area, or you're going to drive through a hot area, whatever it is, you want to chant Om Doom Durga Ye Namaha. And so just to give you a little background information, Durga is a goddess in India, and she is the divine protectress. She, riding astride a lion or tiger, she is beautiful to behold, yet has 100 arms, each with a different weapon. The Lord describes her as beautiful to the devotee of truth and terrible to the demonic force that attempts to harm good people who place their trust in her. So, Doom, you can either chant Doom or Om Doom Durga Ye Namaha. They're both powerful, so you don't necessarily have to, it's not one that's more powerful than the other. They both call on her energy to protect you. So in these days and times with all the craziness that's been going out there, you definitely want to chant that mantra, and that's the mantra for the week.
Terrific.
What do you think about that?
Terrific.
Oh, cool.
Good one. We really need that with all this stuff going on, Yeah. If the virus wasn't enough to keep you home, you could stay home so you don't get in the middle of the other crisis going on. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so we got a couple of callers calling in, and you're going to take us to calls in a minute. I want to do the upcoming shows real quick, get that out of the way, seeing as it's past the bottom of the hour. Anyway, you can go over to our radio network website, psychictalk.net, and you'll find all the upcoming shows listed at psychictalk.net/upcoming on that page there, or just click the upcoming shows page link on the main page right there at psychictalk.net. Tomorrow is Saturday, June 6th, and so because it's the first Saturday of June, Mary Brown will be doing her once a month. There's a Rock for that show. So all you rock hounds and crystal keepers, tune in. She's going to be talking about the stone jasper, a friend to humanity. Then on Monday, sounds interesting. Yeah. Monday, June 8th, it's always a doubleheader with Wisdom of the Soul from Janice Fuchs, followed by Compassionate Light, Healing, and Guidance with Catherine Hahn. She's doing part 2 of her brand new series of shows on the Divine You. Love that. And then Dr. Rose and I will be back Friday, June 12th. We're doing a show on life coaching for tarot readers and other intuitive practitioners. We were talking about life coaching last week and how it's a great foundation. Basically, regardless, whatever your practice is. I don't care if you're a practitioner, hypnotherapist, medium, psychic, card reader, numerologist, whatever you do, if you're working with people, having a foundation in life coaching is awesome. That's the foundation. And so we figured, hey, let's do a whole show on that where we talk about life coaching and specifically in relationship to, because most of our listeners are tarot readers or in the tarot and other intuitive practitioners, psychics, mediums, things along those lines, astrologers, the whole gamut. We'll be talking about using life coaching in that context next Friday, but it'll still be open lines, and we'll be doing free tarot mini readings, of course. And then Saturday, June 13th, I'm back, and so is the Tarot Today radio show with Mary Brown and myself, and we're going to be talking about tarot deck care, cleaning, cleansing, clearing, and storing your cards. Because especially, when we're talking about issues with surfaces and things like that, during the health crisis here, have you all been cleaning your cards? Bet you didn't think about that, And also, who do you let touch your cards? I do the shuffling. I don't let the clients touch the cards. And in fact, most of my clients I'm seeing over Zoom or Skype or Facebook video call or something like that. They're not local anyway, so. But we're going to do a whole show on that, how you can clear the energy, cleanse the cards. I got some great ideas on that, and how to best, store them as well. So that's what's coming up. Go to psychitalk.net/upcoming anytime, and then you can see all the shows coming up. Actually, I got shows listed all the way out to the end of the month, so all the way to Monday, June 29th. So go check that out. Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. Oh, I promised to mention the summer sale because we had the wonderful spring sale, and I had a discount on my readings. You could book a private reading with me, and also our membership to the Tarot Guild, the premium membership that includes free certification, and my course, Tarot by the Numbers, learning tarot and numerology side by side if you're new to tarot. So if you're like already a professional reader, you've been a professional reader for 5, 10, 20, 30 years, join the guild, get your certification, get going on that. If you're new to tarot, you want to start off with the course, you could do that. And now that we're into summer, I always like to do what I call the sizzling summer sale. The sizzling summer sale. So you can find the premium membership at thetarotguild.com/join, or if you're already on the website at thetarotguild.com, you're going to see buttons for it. Like if you're in the chat room with us, you can just right-click on join the guild and open it in a new tab there. And we talk about the free membership because it's 100% free to join the website. Like it's free to join Facebook. I often say our new website is Facebook for Tarot. Has all the same features as the big social media websites, except it's all tarot all the time. You can join the website for free, take advantage of all the features, the groups and instant messaging, chat. You get your own profile. Everything you can do on Facebook, events, and there's an activity feed on the main page in the center, and just like Facebook, it's tarot, all the time, tarotguild.com. And you can go over there and join for free. But on that join page, if you scroll down, you'll see our premium membership, which includes all that you get with the free, joining the website, but you also get a whole bunch of other benefits, including your membership certificate, of course, and a lot of other benefits, including you get free tarot certification, your CTR, we call it, Certified Tarot Reader, which you can put that acronym, at the end of your name there, Jane Doe, CTR. And so you can go over to the join page, thetarotguild.com/join. For the for the course, you go to thetarotguild.com/learn. Real simple. We tried to make these, really simple links. Go to thetarotguild.com/learn. You can read up on my course and you can enroll in the course there. And normally it is $78 for a year of membership and your tarot certification, which is the number of cards in the tarot deck, of course. And it's the same for enrolling in my course. It's normally $78, but during the sizzling summer sale, you can take an additional 25% off. When you get to the payment page, just put in the coupon code SUMMER25, and that's all capitals. So be sure to capitalize SUMMER25. SUMMER25 is the discount code to get 25% off either my course or joining the premium membership to the Tarot Guild, getting your certification included, or both. There you go. And just head over to the website, thetarotguild.com and check that out. What do you think about that for a sizzling summer sale there, Rose?
Hey, that's fantastic. And, hey, we got a lot of time on our hands, many of us. Let's get to work.
That's right. And if you don't want to call in on a radio show with a lot of people listening, you can always book a private session with me. Page is thetarotguild.com/Dax. And I didn't set up the summer discount for that yet. However, if you contact me through my page, thetarotguild.com/Dax, I'll give you a big discount off of my private readings as well for the summer sale. Just let me know you heard it on the radio show and you'll get it. Okay, so Rose, what do we got in the way of callers?
Okay, why don't we bring on the person who's been holding the longest, which I can't really tell, but I think these callers came in at the same time. So, caller whose area code is 229, you're joining us on the air. Hi,
hello.
Welcome
Thank
to
you
the
for
show.
taking my call.
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Melvin. I'm calling from Georgia.
Hi, Melvin from Georgia.
Yes.
What can we do for you today? What's your question?
Well, I just want to maybe get a general, but my main question is about my family, my sisters and brothers. I'm the baby of the family, and I have 6 sisters and 3 brothers, but one of my brothers passed away in 2010. But my sisters and brothers, they're keeping themselves away from me for some odd reason, and they won't tell me why. And I call them, and they always make an excuse about, I got to use the restroom, or I'm watching this TV show, I'm doing this or doing that. And I'm like, what in the world I did for them to, all of them, to act out like that towards me?
Interesting.
Only one of them, my brother that's in the hospital now, he's the only one that will call me, and I call him, and he pick up. And my sister Wanda, but the rest of them, I feel like I'm being left behind, like they turning their back on me. So I don't know what's going on.
So you want to know what's happening and what is this about? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, ma'am.
I know you've been shuffling the cards back there. What do you have for Melvin?
Okay, Melvin. All right. So,
Hi.
how you doing?
I'm trying to get better.
Yeah. So I'm getting.
Yes.
Oh, I got 2 cards that are 8 cards. 8 is abundance in numerology. Okay. And the 3 card, 3 is creativity and communication. It's talking about getting, creative with the situation. Now, this is what's going on. Hold on for just a second. I'm sorry, Dr. Rose. I have to mute Melvin's line because I'm getting a lot of background and feedback noise, and I can't concentrate when I got that in my ears. Okay.
That's okay. We'll bring you back, Melvin, after this is,
Yeah, just hang in there for a second, Melvin, while I get through this reading here. I do have to point out that, there's not going to, I'm sorry, but there's really, let me explain this to the audience, how I do readings, and a lot of tarot readers do readings this way. When it comes to third parties involved in the situation, it's against our code of ethics to read on people that are not present at the reading. We consider that like psychic peeping Tomming, Dr. Rose.
Right.
So when people have issues and they and they involve other people, typically what we do is we try to look at the aspects of, how this is affecting the actual client that is there, what they can do about how they are personally reacting to the situation versus, does he love me still? Or why is she angry at? Hey, there's a lot of psychics. There's a lot of psychics out there and tarot readers that will do that kind of question without even blinking an eye. I'm just one of the ones that won't do. I won't do that. It cuts across, my code of ethics, and I know a lot of other readers feel the same way. So, bearing that in mind, I'm pulling the cards. I'm not getting a lot anyway. There's not information coming through in regards to that anyway, as far as, the whys about it, And hey, someone comes to me and says, I don't understand why they're doing this. I'm like, have you gone to that person and asked them why they're doing this? Maybe it's not anything that you think. Maybe it's a completely different thing going on with them personally and has nothing to do with you. Maybe it does have something to do with you. Well, ask. You don't need a psychic for that. You don't need a tarot card reader for that. What's really powerful about tarot is when it's used as life coaching. So there is things here about the life coaching aspect of this. There is things about, how you can react, what you can do, and so forth like that. What their reasons are, I don't even know that it matters that much. I mean, it's how you're reacting to it. Remember the law of attraction. Where you put your attention, you attract more of that. So if you're putting your intention, which creates the attraction, if you're putting your intention and your attention on the lack, I'm not getting the communication with my brothers and sisters. They may or may not be feeling a certain way at me, all this kind of thing. You're telling the universe, I want more of that. That's all you're doing. You're just telling the universe you want more and more of the same thing. So instead, you should look at, your own personal reaction and turn it around to the positive. What do you really want to be going on? How you'd rather things be. Okay, we can't force other people, but sometimes when you put your focus on the positive, like your one brother that you're still in communication with, sometimes when you put your attention on that, it changes the situation because you're focusing on the positive and trying to bring them in. So what do? Well, you focus on the past. Think of when things were good with you and your brothers and sisters, when you were communicating. What was that like? Remember the laughing, remember the smiling, remember the good times. Focus on that and write that down in your list of how you want things to be. You want it to be that way again. You want to get along with them. You want to have good times. You want to smile. You want to laugh. Focus on what you want to attract in. Okay. So the Three of Swords shows up as the very first card. That's sorrow, pain, grief, cathartic grieving. You may actually benefit from that, from just, letting go and letting God. Let go, let God. Interestingly enough, Dr. Rose, the card of the day, the Five of Cups, shows up to show how, and this has been happening, it happens on most shows going back the last 10 years, but even more frequently lately. I don't know if you remember last show. I think it was last show where the card of the day showed up in almost every reading. And
wow.
Just like Three of Swords, which, by the way, swords is the mind, it's thoughts and ideas, okay? So it's not emotions here. It's how you're thinking about things, and it's a card about sorrow, pain, grief. Occasionally it's a love triangle or something like that in a relationship reading, but it's more about transformation through pain and sorrow. So it's indicating the tarot saying, hey, Melvin, this is more of a transformation for you, okay? And it's interesting because, the Five of Cups has a lot of the same keywords. It's a card of sorrow, loss, broken relationship, disillusionment. This is all showing how Melvin's feeling, Dr. Rose. And remember I said in the beginning of the show how the Five of Cups, cups is emotions, and the 3 cups are spilt over. He's bent over the individual in the card, and they're focused on these 3 cups that have spilt over. It's the crying over spilt milk card, not realizing that right behind him is 2 upright full cups. All he has to do is turn around. And that's what I've been talking about up to this point. That's what I've been talking about. Yeah. Is where is Melvin's focus, Dr. Rose? It's focused on the loss, where if he would turn around, he'd still see that there's 2 full cups. There's still positivity. He has this relationship with his one brother that he can talk to, that calls him, and he can call him, and they call each other, and they can communicate. And I don't know if you've been going in depth with all of this with that brother. Does he know what's going on? I'm just wondering about that. But
right.
It's all about shifting your focus from the loss and the lack to what you actually still have. You have a lot to be happy about. You could start a gratitude journal and just write down all the things that are positive that are still going on in your life. This adds fuel to the law of attraction, where you can then make changes with the parts that you want to make change with, and attract in the kind of relationship that you want to have with your brothers and sisters. The central focus card is the Nine of Wands, which talks about eventual victory and plans coming to fruition. This individual in the card has bandages on his arm and his head. You've been through the battles, but all the wands are passion. It's the fire energy, and all those wands lined up behind him is his life experience. You have the high road here. You have the high ground. You can be in control of how the situation moves forward, and you have all the tools. That's the important thing that's coming through from this card, is you already have all the tools you need to make this happen. You just have to maybe think outside the box a little bit. The Eight of Swords is, again, just reflecting Dr. Rose Melvin's situation, how he feels. Remember, swords are ideas and thoughts. So you're surrounded and trapped in by all these swords. And the figure in the card has a blindfold on and is wrapped up in like some material, like bonds. And if the individual in the card would just kind of like wriggle their body a little bit, those bandages, or I shouldn't say bandages, I was thinking of the Nine of Wands, but the bonds that are around her, Dr. Rose, are like, you could tell they're loose. She could wiggle her way out of there and reach up, grab the blindfold, take the blindfold off, and then see that there's a clear path out from being surrounded by these swords that are boxing her in. That's what Melvin has to do. He can see the path clearly. He's caught. We get bogged down with all these thoughts and ideas.
Right.
We see a certain situation, Dr. Rose, like he's in, and we have these thoughts and ideas. where we're assuming things that we don't really know. Go back to his original question. It shows he doesn't really know. Is there really something going on? What's going on? Why are they acting the way they are? We don't know. You got to find out. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But mainly what's coming through here today is the cards are saying you have wiggle room. You can wiggle your way out of those bonds, take off the blindfold, see the clear path ahead. In the Five of Cups, you can turn around and refocus on what you have and
right.
on what you want to attract in, you know. The Nine of Wands, he has all of the tools he needs. And then the Eight of Wands, which is things happening quickly. This could actually happen really quickly. It's also a card about taking action now. You know, we often talk about the 4 steps in the cross of manifestation, which is basically the 4 steps to the law of attraction. And most people can get the first 3 right, but they don't do the 4th step, which is taking action out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a card of communication and forward motion. Taking steps towards a dream. Synchronicities happening. Because all the wands are flying through the air in parallel. You know. And so this actually could happen really quickly. But you have to decide. You have to make the decision that this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to focus on the lack. I'm going to focus on the positive. Hey, I still got the communication with the one brother. And then take action, you know. What does he know about the situation? The Eight of Wands is about communication. So is the Three of Swords, the 3, creativity and communication. Get creative about this. How can you creatively communicate with those other brothers and sisters and find out what's going on? But most importantly is figuring out what you want, not focusing on the lack. Figuring out how you want it to actually be and focus on that new reality to bring it in to the now. So
yeah.
I hope that resonates with Marvin, and you know, he can, Melvin, and he can get you know, at least moving forward with this.
I would also say, I want to add just really quickly, and then we can go on to the next caller,
Great.
is that, you know, relationships are about, it's your frequency. So, like what I heard when you were talking, you know, Melvin, I'll be honest with you, you know, you sound very much like how I used to be from time to time, and how I can be sometimes. I usually quell shit. Is that, you know, people are not paying attention to me and my family, and why is that? Because I'm also the baby. So I understand how that feels. Like, why don't they have time for me? Why don't my brothers call me? I have 2 older brothers. So I certainly can understand that. But remember that that's a frequency that you're putting out. There's something going on with you within your mind, deep within your subconscious, about your positioning or your relationship with your siblings. And so the best way, I would say, you know, this is my mantra therapy coach hat I'm putting on, is to chant the mantra KLEEM. It's spelled KLEEM. And it really works well. It helps you to, improve your relationships. It could be relationships, not only, I would say love relationships in a general sense, you know, love of family, or if you're looking for a love, it could do that. It could also attract customers to your business type of thing. But it's all about relationships with people. I chanted this mantra some time ago just for fun. I didn't have anything specifically in mind. But with one of my brothers, I always had this contentious relationship. And then, like, if I asked for his help, it would be all this hemming and hawing, and I don't know, I don't have time, blah, 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 you know, and all this stuff. So I wouldn't even want to talk to him about helping me with anything. So when I chanted KLEEM one time, and I called him up, and I had to ask for his help, he was like, yeah, sure. Like, nothing was, like, it just kind of, the conflict just, like, magically disappeared. I was like, oh, my God, this is a powerful mantra. So if you want to chant a mantra, it's all about frequencies, right? It's what you're putting out there. I would recommend chanting Kleem. Do it at least 108 times each day. Try to do it in one sitting. That'll take maybe 5 minutes. It's really not that long. You can even chant it in the bed before you get up in the morning. Some of the most powerful times to chant mantras are at nighttime or very early in the morning before the sun comes out. So chant Kleem, and you'll see an improvement in that if that's what you want to do. So, yeah, that's my recommendation for that.
Yeah, and that's like Kleem, Kleem.
Kleem.
Is that,
yeah.
Is that right?
Kleem it's yes, that's right. Or it could be Klim. The spelling is different. This is coming from Sanskrit that doesn't use Roman characters. So whichever way you want to spell it is fine. But Kleem, or you can do Klim. That'll work too.
I guess you could use a C instead of the K. I'm just trying to do it phonetically in my head, and I was also thinking,
better. Right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Because I was thinking of Kleenex, and so Kleem. Yeah, absolutely. Well, hope that helped you out, Melvin. We got to move on. I want to remind everybody we're almost at the end of the show here, so we'll have time to take maybe one more call. And I want to remind everybody to tune in tomorrow for Mary's show. She'll be doing readings. I don't know if she'll be doing a lot of tarot. I know she does like crystal type readings on her crystal show because there's a rock for that. She's going to be talking about Jasper tomorrow. Yeah, but Rose and I will be back next Friday as well. We'll be talking about life coaching, but we'll still be taking your calls, tarot mini readings, open lines all show long. After the topic, we'll keep it brief there. And don't forget the new sizzling summer sale. That's right. Come join us on thetarotguild.com. Remember, it's free to join the website. If you want to join our premium membership, you'll see the Join the Guild button there, or just go to thetarotguild.com/join, and you get your certification, your CTR certification included. And if you want to learn tarot and numerology as well, you can take my Tarot by the Numbers course. You can enroll at thetarotguild.com/learn. And remember to put in the coupon code for 25% off, Summer25, all caps on summer. Summer25 is the code. All righty. So do you want to take us to our last caller, Dr. Rose?
Okay. Caller with the zip code, with the area code 631. You're on the air with us. Hi. Welcome to the show, and please give us your name and where you're calling from. Caller 631. Are you there? I'm hearing a little bit of something, but it's very mute, very, very low. Okay, it doesn't seem like it's happening. All right, well, I'm just going to put them back on hold. Maybe they didn't want to say anything or they're not able to. We have another caller. Let's see, let me just go ahead and put you on the air right now. Hi, you're with the air with Rose and Dax. Give us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
Maybe
Hello?
they're just listening.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. They may just.
They don't have their hand.
Well,
they don't have their hand raised.
Oh.
They didn't press one.
Did I expose you? I'm sorry, Lurker.
They're probably just.
They're just listening.
They're probably
listener,
just listening.
I should say listener, not Lurker. I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot right like that. I totally was not paying attention to that. Well, I think that's it for our callers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been a wild and chaotic, crazy show, hasn't it?
It certainly has.
Oh, boy. But thanks to all our listeners and callers. Remember, we don't have a show without you. And thanks to you, Dr. Rose, for being here with us. With me every week.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun being with you, Dax. So it's always a pleasure.
Next week will be interesting. We could talk about life coaching, and I got some great coaching type courses for you that are really inexpensive. that you could enroll in. And also, I never mention it really, but, I talk about the membership that's on sale right now, and they get their CTR certification included. Dr. Rose? That's the first level. And then after that is Certified Tarot Professional, Certified Tarot Master, Certified Tarot Grandmaster. And the CTR is the only one where we do testing. There's like a quiz on general tarot knowledge and then a test reading to make sure you could do a professional reading. That's the whole idea of what a certified tarot reader is. And then you get the CTR certification. But the higher levels after that are all on experience. And, you have to show experience and how long you've been doing professional tarot reading and things like that. So for the next level, Certified Tarot Practitioner, is that right? Certified Tarot Professional, I'm sorry, CTP. I was like, what's the P again? Oh, yeah, Professional. Certified Tarot Professional, one way they show, it's all about professional development and experience, Typically, people get their CTR and then 5 years later, but you may have already been reading for 10 years. If you want to go right for the CTP, one of the easy ways to qualify for that is a certification in a other modality. So, that shows professional development. So, you're a certified tarot reader, but you go out and get a life coaching certificate. You get a hypnotherapy certificate, NLP certificate, Reiki practitioner certificate, EFT, any of these helping modalities that you can, combine with your tarot sessions, or even if you're doing them separately, that's fine too. But, it shows professional development. And often it's hard to document, if you've been doing readings for 10, 15, 20 years, it's hard to document that. And so we will accept certificates in other modalities as proof of professional development. And one of the easiest ways is to take one of these courses, like I'll mention some of them next Friday, Rose, some of these life coaching courses, and they're very inexpensive. You can go through them very quickly, like Dr. Jones's. I know you've taken that, and hundreds of our Tarot Guild members and radio listeners and other hosts on the network, almost everybody's taken this life coaching course. And you can get through it really quickly, get your certificate, and it qualifies you for Certified Tarot Professional.
Perfect.
I just thought I'd mention that because we rarely ever mention that, that's a way to qualify for Certified Tarot Professional. And Certified Tarot Master, too, is also, about it. Typically, folks will have a certificate and get the CTP, and then they'll, get another certificate or two, and that shows psychic development. That shows professional development for the Certified Tarot Master level as well. You have to have been a professional reader for at least 10 years to apply for that. So there you go. I just thought I'd throw that out there, and we'll see you. We'll see you all next week. Yeah.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, Dr. Rose.
Bye, Dad.